So when we have a higher awareness, it takes our mind away from any kind of habit or addiction. But again, these practices are audio files. They are dead files unless you make it active, unless you make a choice. The journey of this Eastern wisdom is basically what we say, it is a self-discovery. So when we say self-discovery, it means we have to recognize and realize our real self. And that real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Second point is that it is permanent peace and happiness. You go for a lunch, example, you like pasta, so pasta gives you a pleasure. So you might have eaten pasta for hundreds of times. You cannot add all the pleasures of eating 100 times, and you cannot add it, and even if you add it, that cannot become permanent happiness. That creates an addiction. Instead of that, I gave an example of pasta. Understanding is required. First thing is that if we understand it clearly and we repeat, why we repeat? So that the intellect gives that understanding to the mind. Unless the mind gets a feeling that I have to drop it, nothing will happen. And that is why I insist on repeat the listening. It's not that my voice is very good or I speak good English. It's not because of that. It's because of the principles.
Your voice is very calming.
Very calming. Oh, very good. Then hire me. I'll remain with you 24/7. So you see that is our nature. Now, what happens when we are surrounded by stress, anxiety, duality, and a conflict? It is the false I. So we have two I, the false I. So when it follows the habit, when it gets into anxiety, when it has the stress, when it is craving for something from the world outside, it is the false I. You know, we use the word personality. The personality comes from the word persona, and the persona means mask. Persona basically means mask, from where the word personality has come. So that persona is the false I. That false I is made up of the body, breath, mind, intellect, our cherished thoughts which we like, that we want to do. It creates a long list of likes and dislikes, joy and sorrow, pain and the pleasure, and then we start claiming I have lot of stress. No, you don't have a stress. It is the false I that contains the stress. It is the mask. Now take an example, a couple get married, a boy and girl got married. So they are treated as husband and a wife, right? Once the boy and a girl got married, they are known as husband and wife. I don't hear you. So can you show me the husband in a boy? Can you show me the wife in a girl? That is what happens. False I is not seen, but its impact is felt. Its impact is felt. So we have to uncover this mask. The moment you uncover the mask, all your habit, your challenges, and whatever you have told me in your life history, it will dissolve. It will dissolve. Say a couple got married, now they are husband and a wife, now they divorce. So do they remain husband and a wife? Now they got remarried with others. So where the first husband has gone? Where the first wife has gone? It does not exist. So we create a lot of problems with these labels in our day-to-day life, in relationship. And that makes the mind crazy, and it results into many mental and emotional challenges. That is why we teachers in Eastern wisdom need to speak a lot to make people understand first intellectually. Intellectually, here. Then from the knowledge must come down from head to the heart. But if it doesn't come to the heart, then there is no change. Every session you will say, no, I know it, but there is a but. So this knowledge must come down to the heart which is known as the seat of the mind, the emotions, the feeling. So when you do the repeat listening and you do the practice, the mind becomes clear, and then this mind starts thinking, oh, I feel totally relaxed without taking any help from anything outside, just by doing the practice. So if that peace is possible even for a shorter period, then it is definitely possible, because I am not taking help of anything outside. Are you getting it? So that is, so entire journey is the journey of the self-discovery. So from where to start that self-discovery? We have to have a goal in our life. If we do not have a goal, then it will not work. Animals do not have a goal. They don't need any goal. You know why? Why they don't have goal and we have a goal? It is because we have an intellect. Intellect is known as free will. Free will means I have a free choice. Choice means I can choose what is right and good. I can drop what is not right and good. Are you clear? Let me give a simple example. The tiger is not going to eat grass or apples. They cannot make a choice. They are intelligent, but they do not have an human intellect. Our dog cannot make a choice. You can train them with certain habits. Otherwise, one day your dog will say, now I will take over you, Carlin. They cannot make a choice. We can make a choice. We human beings. So if we make a choice, then we should make a right choice. Good. I'm not going there. I'm not going there which you are thinking. You have to make a right choice. That is very simple. What is right and good? So sometimes we want to be happy being unhappy. Unnecessarily we feel we are sad. We made a wrong choice. Sometimes we see, oh, I've been suffering from the stress for the last 10 years. Okay, it is lying on your shoulder. Because you think it happens. So if you start thinking, let me find out the peace and happiness. So what happens that in this journey, my friend Carlin, in this journey we have many goals in life. one goal is common. Three goals are common to all human beings. Outer expression may be different, but these goals are common to all the living or human beings. First goal is to earn money. Why you want to earn money? Why you make such a great effort? Why we are stressed earning money? Because we want to use that money for pleasure, for security. First is definitely security, basic needs, have a house and basic essential necessities, and after that we want to use that money for vacation, for pleasure, for dining somewhere, for having lot of clothes, car, etc. So that gives us a pleasure. Now these two common goals which are common, we have not to leave. We have to make a right effort to earn the money. We have also to go for pleasure. But the pleasure does not help me to live my life peacefully and happiness all the time. What food you like to eat and that gives you pleasure? Well, I didn't hear you.
Pasta.
Pasta. Oh, pasta. Pasta is also my favorite. How many times you have eaten pasta during the last 5 years? Can you recall that those pleasures are still there? So Eastern wisdom says the fourth goal, three goals are, one is wealth, second is pleasure seeking, basic needs, and the third goal is to follow the rules of the nation, the society. If I follow the rules in the nation, it prevents me from suffering. Speed is 45 miles an hour. If I speed 55 miles, obviously I have every chance caught by the cop. So these are the rules. Whether these rules of the road, rules in a family, rules in a relationship. Because if I live in relationship, I should move with the peace and happiness, love and affection. If I don't move with the love and affection, no, I am suffering from lot of problems, honey, not today. I'm not ready to talk. And that goes on repeating. Then how can you build a relationship? Same thing, my relationship with the nation. I have to follow the rules of the nation. That is the third goal. Fourth goal, the Western people never think of it. Fourth goal is the self-discovery. Why self-discovery? Because that self is made up of the nature of peace, love, truth and wisdom. It is permanent. It is always there. Now if I discover that, what happens? I wake up in the morning. First thing, I am aware of my peace and happiness. I don't remember my habit and addiction. So it's a mental transformation program. And it is an emotional freedom program. It is that you get rid of all the challenges that the mind has. So that is why we say in Eastern wisdom, there is a relationship between a teacher and a student. And that relationship is based on, you are, as a student, you are listening and learning these principles. You have intellectually understood, it's okay, but you have to repeat listening. Why? From head to the heart. That knowledge can move from the head to the heart only when I repeat. First, I heard it. You heard me and then you said, oh, let me think it over what this beard guy says. Let me think it over. Is it really possible? If you have any doubt, you are ready to ask me questions. So if you have a doubt, you can remove those doubts. So why we remove the doubt? So that mind puts you 1,000,000 doubts every day, unconsciously, without thinking. That's why you gave me an excuse that I normally smoke while driving. And there I caught you. You see, these are simple principles. We understand that. So when I listen to it again and again and again, I listen to it and then I close my eyes and let me even contemplate and reflect for 5 minutes. Oh, this is the principle, this what says. Oh, my mind moves to pick up that long stick unconsciously, without thinking, as if we feel some force is moving my hand there. So that emotional dependence can only be dissolved, removed, transformed by the knowledge. That unseen force goes and pick up the stick because of non-thinking. First reason is the non-thinking. There are other reasons also that we will talk later. So now first thing, I told you self-discovery. That is the first goal. And there are supplementary goals. What are the supplement? I should know the nature of the world. When I know the nature of the world and I realize this world neither gives me sorrow nor gives me pleasure. When I realize, I experience it. Can that stick gives you a pleasure? Tell me. No. Then why you are doing it?
Not thinking.
Non-thinking, but at present, because of non-thinking, it gives you a false sense of pleasure. If that stick contains the pleasure, then everyone will leave all the meditation practices and leave everything, and they will stick with the stick. So it proves that it does not contain a sense of pleasure. But I have built a habit. So that habit becomes an unconscious force. Unconscious force stops you from thinking. Because of the non-thinking, you are driven by that force and pick up. So it means I should know the nature of the world completely. People, place, time, relations, situations, they are not responsible for our sorrow and the suffering. The way I give the wrong interpretation because of the non-thinking, get carried by the emotions, is the result of my suffering. At the same time, we should also know, if the real self is the same as in you and as in me, as in everyone, you may go into tremendous stress. The real self does not change. We all have that potential to discover that peace and happiness. So that potential, in many ways, you can say them, that is what is known as the spirituality. Be very logical. No cult, no dogma, no belief, no religion. So more we clearly understand, we can enter into that real self and we can find it. So what happens? Now I know the exact nature of the world. I know who am I. What will happen? I am not worthy of suffering. you realize that fact is that I'm not worthy of suffering. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. A journey begins but never ends until you realize and you say, I got it. You start living in your daily life that state. That is also known as awakening. And once we have that state, the purpose of human life is complete. Then you live, you continue to live your life. You recognize because you are living into that state of calmness and peace all the time. That is the goal we set when we enter into the journey of the Eastern wisdom. I don't know, are you ready? Are you ready for it or not? Yes, normally people, when they understand and they say, oh, it's not possible. Who says it is not possible? The false I. The false I has a bitter experience that I always have a short-term pleasure. How can it become permanent? Because we do not have any experience of that, even a slight presence of that permanent peace and happiness. So the mind pushes you. The false I says, forget about it. Nothing happens. So that is why we say one has to become a seeker. Means seeker, last point, and then we will start our practice. Now, to be a driver, you desire to be a driver so that you can drive the car. Two things are required. Rules of the road, we have to pass the examination. And skill sets, means practice. Knowledge and practice both are required. That is what we are doing. We are trying to make a leap to become a seeker. Once you are a seeker, your intellect has a clarity and a conviction, and that conviction goes to the mind. Even if you keep smoking, for example, I'm saying, you will not leave the journey. And it will be dropped by itself. But in the beginning, we have to skill sets to make an effort. First time when you, oh no, I may hit this one. But once we are familiar, we get it. So our next practice, today's practice is first practice is the self-awareness. In the first step, we are comfortable. We prepare ourselves. In the second step, we do quick and short breath. Can you do that? Let me see. I don't hear the noise. I know why it is not happening. But you have to quick and short breath. Yes. So that is the second step. And the third step is the humming sound. Why we do the humming sound? It lifts our energy that is controlled by the mind, which creates a non-thinking pattern. It releases the energy from that unconscious mind and it lifts the energy up. So how we do it? We take a deep, silent and slow breath. You fill the belly and then the chest, and while breathing out, You are younger than me, so your lungs are more powerful. You can do it longer than me.
I don't know. I'm a slow girl.
So you have to do it. I will also do it with you a couple of times. So that would be the third step. And after that, I will give you two more steps. So that becomes, which I call the self-awareness practice. So it helps you to raise your level of awareness so that you can move from non-thinking to thinking mode. Let us start. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and the body is comfortable. And check that the entire body, all the joints are easy and comfortable, so that you need not to move the body during the practice. Now look inside the forehead in the space. Look inside the forehead in the space and keep looking there at any point. And in that, with that focus, you start quick and short chest breathing. I will do with you. You may be continue doing it. You will experience certain changes. Need not to worry about mind will like to break that pattern. No, continue. And stop it. Do nothing. Remain as you are and experience the changes. Accept the changes, but do not allow the mind to start thinking wrongly. No, these changes are good for me. And now slowly you breathe in. Inhale deeply first into the belly. Expand the belly, then the rib cage up to the throat. While breathing out and exhaling from the nostrils, make the humming sound louder, deeper, and longer. No worries if you cannot do it longer, but you keep on doing it. Even if you do it for a shorter period, never leave the practice. Keeping the body in the state of steadiness. But louder, deeper, and longer humming sound. Louder the humming sound, better it is for the brain. louder the humming sound, better it is. It triggers the brain faster. You may experience some tingling, some maybe a kind of dizziness, and that is okay. Continue, my friend. Good. And now stop this humming sound. Do nothing. Experience the changes in terms of the sensation, tingling, numbness, freshness, or maybe sometime we feel a kind of dizziness, and it's normal when we do it first few times. Now simply in the next step you simply look at the breath. The moment the breath goes in count in 1, when the breath returns out 1. So I added the third step of the previous practice. So it becomes easy for us to practice. Just go on counting, but this time the condition is that you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You do not move the body. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. But you go on counting the breath, and sometime you will find that you forget the counting. Now, I mean to say you forget counting the breath. Doesn't mean that you don't know the counting. Why that happens? Unconscious mind, non-thinking. And every time you recognize, reset the counting and start again from 1. 1 to 25. If you complete it, you can repeat it. Normally, what happens when we start counting the breath, we raise our awareness. That prevents the non-thinking, and then our counting the breath, 25 counting minimum takes about 2 minutes. And gradually we will evolve into this practice. We will recognize if the mind is in my control or I am controlled by the mind. Now even stop this counting, remain as you are. We need to resolve. So the mantra Satu Ma Satu Gamaya. Listen to it. Asato Ma Satu Gamaya. It's better to repeat even these Sanskrit phrases because it triggers your brain and raise your level of awareness. Asato Ma Satu Gamaya. And now we will contemplate in that state of steadiness in the body. This line means let me lead me from the false to the real. And that is what I explained to you today. The false is like a personality, it is a mask, and it contains all kinds of pleasure, non-thinking, anxiety, duality, problem, suffering. So when we move from the false to the real, that is sitting, dwelling behind the body, mind, intellect, and ego, is the real. So why we move from the false to the real? Because that will help me realize my essential nature. How we do it? That is the second line. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. What this phrase means? Lead me or lead us from ignorance to wisdom. Ignorance is the cause of all this suffering. What is ignorance? Misconception, false idea, false notion I have made over a period of my life, living a difficult life, that declares that I am stressed, I am suffering. So when we move to the wisdom, the knowledge of the real self, we realize it is because of the mask. Then what happens? Mrityurma amritangamaya, mrityurma amritangamaya, mrityurma amritangamaya. It means lead me from the mortality to immortality. Means we have the extreme fear is the fear of the death. So when we recognize our real self, we also discover that we are free from the death. Means we are real self, we are not the body mind. So I gave you a couple of the thoughts and ideas. It is better when you do the practice and contemplate and reflect. Now the next step is look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Experience sensation, relaxation and stillness, sensation, relaxation and stillness, and look inside the head and the heart. You will also experience the calmness and the joy. So what we do, we repeat it, and in this step you are not doing any effort. Again, look at the body from the top of the head to the toes. And then look inside the head, a sense of calmness and the joy. Look inside the heart, calmness and the joy. My mind says I should speak out. So first step is relaxation. When we experience the relaxation in the form of sensation on the skin of the body, that starts withdrawing the mind. So when the mind is withdrawn deeper by the practice, it is known as the stillness. Mind further withdraws inside, it becomes aware of some sensation inside the body. Sensation inside the body is different than the sensation on the skin. And if you can separate it, that is the state of the calmness. Further deeper inside, you experience as if there is a sense of blankness and emptiness. That is the state of quietness. It is because of that recognition we experience relaxation, stillness, calmness, and the joy. How the mind lives with the non-thinking, causes the impurity, triggers many reactions. Do you want to know? Yes. Live into that state. So when you extend that period, your mind starts creating some thought pattern. They are unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. And it says, no, this is too much, I cannot do it, I should not do it. These are the non-thinking elements, just to give you a glimpse of it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti means peace. Om is a symbol that represents the real self. So we will also understand why we are saying Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness or the mind on the right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Take your time. If you don't want to return, it's okay. Otherwise, bring both your palms. Cover your eyes with both the palms. And open the eyes inside the palms, experience the dark space and know what happened. What is your experience? We will share it.